Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Love or Pretend. We're giving our recording software one more try here because I adjusted some settings, I poked around, I tried to change some things, and I'm like, maybe this will work, even though these things have never changed ever in the time. I don't know. I think that it needs an update because it usually starts acting janky like this after my graphics card updates, and then it needs an update, but it's like, it's been like a fucking week, so I'm gonna need them to get on the goddamn ball because it's kind of annoying. We're going to give it one more shot. And then if it doesn't freaking work or during this recording we keep having issues, then I'm going to switch to using the Elgato capture software. I think the thing I didn't like about that is the sound always is janky as fuck in that. Like when it's coming through my headset, it's like crackly and gross. It sounded fine. Like I was messing around with it. I'm like, sounds fine on the recording. Like, but I don't know. It's like nothing. It's like it shouldn't be that fucking hard to just record the gameplay that's coming through my freaking capture card. So I don't know. And again, I can't remember the issues that I had with my capture card, like before, why we switched and why that wasn't working for me trying to do it. And yeah, I don't know. Um, So it sounds weird to me. Like when I hear the sounds coming through, it sounds grainy and crackly. But when I played back the tests that I was doing, I'm like, it sounds fine. So of course, the first couple times I recorded, and there was no sound whatsoever. Even though I know it was recording my voice, I could see the line moving, and yet there was no sound on the output. And I'm like, maybe this is why I didn't do it. But I really don't want to have to go back to where we have to have the Elgato capture screen up and then use Marilla's action to screen grab off of that, because that is just stupid. It's just so fucking stupid. I don't want to do that, but like what the hell? Um so we'll just see. I'm pretty sure action just needs a freaking update because of the graphics card update, but like they're not rolling it out fast enough. Like all of a sudden in a couple days it'll be fine and we'll be fine for like a month and then like whatever, but this is just annoying. Anyway, we'll give it one more shot today, and if it stops working, then we're switching. But anyway, we just ran away from Harumi. At some point, I managed to catch the last train and stumble back to my apartment. I looked back, but there was no one following me. I know you were low-key hoping he would follow you, but he's not doing it this time. I wished Harumi would have been there, out of breath, having chased me all the way home. I know. If he had, I'd forgive him for everything and we'd be together again. Together. It's impossible to have that anymore. It pained me to accept it, but I knew it was better than empty hope. Yeah, empty hope kind of sucks, doesn't it? Hmm. The moment I entered my room, I couldn't hold my tears back anymore. Also, there's no sound, but like, I know, like, when I was messing around, there is. No, my thing just reset its sound. Oh my god. I was redoing it and I was testing the sound and it reset. Oh my god. There is music and you can't hear it. Because when I was testing the sound settings too, like it totally changed and like I couldn't see the sound bar for the game sounds, but yeah, when I record it's there. And I rebooted action, but when I did that, it reset my sound settings. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't handle this. And I can't change the sound while it's I want to just quit everything. I hate this. Oh my god. I'll be back in a second. Okay, well, this is gonna be not good because then I went to stop the recording so I could restart and then get the sound back, and it just decided to crash as I stopped the recording. Okay, whatever. Can't, I can't. Fine, whatever, it's fine, whatever. Anyway, the moment I entered my room, I couldn't hold my tears back anymore. My strength left me, and all the DVDs and manga he'd loaned me clattered to the floor as I fell on my bed. Part of me said to hurry and pick them up. The tears kept falling down my cheeks, and my hands were too busy trying to wipe them away. This was such a huge shock. It was crushing to be rejected. Harumi had become such a large part of my life, and I didn't want to let him go. Was it normal to hurt so much after losing a friend? Sort of, sometimes. But also, I'm pretty sure you hurt so much because you were kind of in love with him and you didn't realize. I'd begun to question myself. Maybe I've started to feel something for Harumi beyond friendship. If not, then the pain didn't make any sense. I squeezed my hands to my chest. Couldn't come up with an answer. Nothing was making sense. Now it's all over. My vision blurred with tears as they fell on the poster I wanted to give him. The one from the Atsaga event that Harumi loved so much. The one we went to together. I picked up the poster and hugged it tightly. I couldn't stop sobbing. A chill breeze blew through the room as the tears kept flowing. Harumi's side story. Oh, wait. Miss Spacey looked like she was going to cry. Of course I said something awful to push her away. Worst. All I did was take out my frustration on her. Just running away again, unable to find the courage to face my enemies. I know that. She was only trying to cheer me up and help me out. She kept asking what I wanted to do and how she could help. She was such a dear friend and I hurt her. She must be so disappointed in me. Yeah, that too. She'll leave me too. I'll have no one to blame but myself. Are we getting a sad Harumi crying, CG? She just throw away that photo. So why can't I? Spacey. Miss Spacey. Oh, stop it! It's so sad and adorable. Oh. And not in the weird, like, I like it when you're sad. It's like, oh no, you're just sad and I just want to hold you and pet you. Oh, stop it. Break my heart game. Why? I have to forget about her. Told me to get rid of my collection. I resigned myself to doing just that. It's easy to give up when it was my only choice. Deep down, I think I knew it would end up like this. The choice doesn't hurt as much anymore. But losing her, it truly hurts. I'm being a hypocrite. I hurt her and pushed her away, but I wanted to lose her. She's such a kind person. So many people want to be her friend. Some even want more than that. To be together with her. Looking at you, Sena. The first thing when he was saying, like, she's such a kind person, so many people want to be her friend, I was thinking of Sena, and I'm like, well, and then he just continued, and I'm like, exactly, okay. Like Kamakubo. Oh, him too, yeah. Just thinking about that really ticks me off. Why? This feeling is the same as when I saw him with her on the stairs. We've known each other for a long time. They might one day end up together. Yeah, we did once. Damn it! Hey, what's up, Harumi? You seem distressed. Of course it's Hanai. Not Dad Hanai, who's just gonna show up and fix everything like a goddamn little angel. I love him so much. He's just really here. What? In this route, and I don't remember in Kazuma's route, because I was like, whatever. But, like, in this route, he is just really here to stir the pot, isn't he? He was like, he just showed up as like, haha, you two making a date plan? And we're like, yes. And he's like, oh. And we're like, we're just gonna have to go with it now that, and I said it. Sure. And now he's like, what's the matter, Rumi? You seem sad. You should probably fix shit. Like touched by an angel coming up in here. Like, Mr. Hanai the handyman just fixing all our problems. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. He kind of we were like, yeah, we need to continue this fake relationship because Hanai said so. We should come up with a backstory, which is what pushed us to actually falling in love, if you think about it. And then now he's here. I'm just saying, I'm not sure he's real. I think he's a figment of our imaginations that strangely other people can see. And it's nothing. Come on now. What's with that dour look? Did you get in a fight with your girlfriend? It's not it. I mean, yes. Ah, right on the mark. You're no poker face, kid. Can read you like a book. So you trying to cool off now? That's not what happened. Hey now. I needed to talk to the director, so I was already heading to your place. Let's go together. Thank you. Father was home, so feel free to go. Oh, you're not heading home? Don't feel like it. Uh-huh. Okay, then, change of plans. Let's go get a couple drinks. I fucking love this man. He's like, our roomie's like, no, I don't. He's like, no, you need drinks, kid. Excuse me? I know a good place, so let's head on over. You're buying, though. Why would I do that? I just want free drinks. Don't drag me into this. Maybe he does want free drinks, but you can also take his advice. He's pretty studly. I'm sure he's got, like, lady advice. I'm just saying. Like, and just thank God that they actually put a character in her as, like, 40 and doesn't look dead. Thank you. Really, like, well, like, once you hit, like, oh, forget it. 30 you can get away with, because we've had games where love interests are like in their early 30s and they generally look fine, but it's kind of like all of a sudden there's a point where you're like, are you 35 dead? Excuse me, what the shit? So the fact that Hanai's here and it's like, he looks damn fine for being 40. I'm just saying, anime logic is he's basically like, you know, he'd look like your grandfather and you're like, shouldn't you be like 80? And he's like, I'm 40. And you're like, excuse me? And then if you're like 60, you're basically like the crypt keeper falling apart. And they're like, oh my god, I can't believe you lived here this long. And it's like some kind of weird fucking, like, hello? Anime logic is mean, okay? Fucking mean. Now, stop with the icy looks. I'll listen to everything you gotta say. I mean, I know there was a point where he's like, is he our dad? But like, if he's not our dad, he's a nice side character to look at. I'm just saying. I kind of feel like the personality-wise, definitely not my character, because he's the bro dude. Which was Kazuma, even though he was like the bro dude, also kind of the best friend. And like, Hanai is like the side himbo. Bro dude himbo, you know what I mean? But like, still nice to look at. I mean, he's a handsome man. I'm okay with it. Let go of me. Quit whining and come on. How did I get caught up in this mess? Hey, that's what you get for being a dumbass. Hanai's gonna take you away. Time passed, and I tried to put what happened with Harumi behind me so I could focus on my schoolwork and help Professor Asagi. There was a lot more to do than I thought, and the work kept me distracted. Kind of curious. Okay, so like, she mentioned Professor Asagi, right? How in the world are we gonna end up being in a pretend relationship with him? Like, I feel like in Seina's route, it's gonna be like, oh, you have to pretend to be my girlfriend because he's like a hot model, whatever, and then like Riku maybe like, oh, someone sees us out and says it, so it's like, okay, to keep up with his image or something. I feel like they could kind of push it that way, you know what I mean? Because you're like, all right, they're celebrities, and now there's gonna be gossip and like whatever. But like, how in the hell are we gonna? I'm just, I mean, we'll get there, but I'm just really curious, and I can't help thinking about it. Anyway. There was a lot more to do than I'd thought, and the work kept me distracted. Still, whenever I had a brief moment alone, it would all come flooding back, and I'd heave a heavy sigh. I took a break when I reached a stopping point. I sensed someone in front of me. Harumi? No. I was like, it's probably not, but I'm not even aware that I'm right in front of you. Only you. How long have you been there? Yeah, because he's like standing there waiting for you to notice him, and every other girl in the coffee shop is staring, and you're like, I was trying to ignore you. Kidding. He should have said something. Staring at someone was rude. I love how in the first two routes leading up to Santa's routes, it was like, God, this fucker. And then we're going to be in a relationship with him. I have a feeling the entire route is going to be like, ugh. Just exasperated with him the whole time before we all of a sudden he wears us down and we find it charming. Which is like problematic in its own way, but still going to be fun. Only a second. Can I sit here? He sat in front of me without waiting for my reply. Sure, why not? Go ahead, I guess. You're not out with Harumi today. Why would I be? You two are dating, aren't you? Our relationship had been built on a lie. Might as well end it on a lie. We broke up. What? Why? I don't want to talk about it. Please stop talking about him. His little pout is so funny. I don't know why. Because it's just kind of adorable. It's just like, it's just this awkward little pout. Really now? You two seemed like a nice fit during Operation whatever it was. Not really. He told me to my face that I was annoying. Truth. For real? Our Harumikins. Are you sure he was telling the truth? Huh? How could I respond to that? I wasn't ready for his insightful reply. I mean, this is Harumi we're talking about. And maybe he said it in the heat of the moment, because Harumi had total faith in you. Even if you two are broken up, I don't think he'd really mean that. Do you really think so? Are you doubting my insights? Not exactly. And yet? But it wasn't easy to accept either. Harumi's words had left a sting. Ah! When we were telling club members the plans, you were off getting the clothes with good old Nishijima. So you don't know. Know what? Well, first of all, those nerds weren't very stoked by the idea. I mean, it was a pretty drastic plan, so I can't say I was prepared. I was surprised. Sorry. Operation TAS was thought up by Miss Spacey. Kamakubo and Sana can change your appearances, but the most important part is everyone's heart. Look, if you don't cooperate, we can't make this happen. I'll drop the plan if you want. But I want to work with all of you. I want this operation to work. We have to stand up when people mock us. I want to show her I've changed after all she's done to support me. When I heard that, I was stunned. Was this our Harumi who always worried what others thought? He must have changed after going out with you. Not everyone agreed from the start. I didn't know he said all that. Sana, have you seen him lately? No, I haven't, but I heard he hasn't been going home. He hasn't been home? Is he okay? What about his family? I stopped myself. If his parents weren't doing anything, then should I have called the police? Sana could tell what I was thinking and casually mentioned Harumi's whereabouts. Is he staying with Hanai? Oh my god, that's so adorable. I really hope. No worries, he's with Hanai right now. Knew it. Hanai drags him out for drinks, and then Harumi's like breaks down and is like, my parents don't like my anime habits and I can't stand them. And he's like, I ain't gonna stay with me, what ifs? See, Hanai is like somebody's dad. He's being like your really cool uncle. You know what I mean? The one that's not much older than you. I mean, technically he's old enough to be our dad, so whatever. I'm still... Part of me is slightly disappointed there's no way he's our dad, because it would have been really cool. It would have been hilariously funny and slightly awkward. But, like, if he's not going to be our dad, then, like, I'm just going to enjoy his character. I enjoy his character anyway, but, like, you know, I'll just enjoy looking a little more. He's not my type, but I mean, they made him good looking, so, like, fine, whatevs. He's also just such a fucking character. I kind of love him as a side character. He works perfectly. Oh, good. So he's not missing. It was a relief to hear. You were so worried for him. Even after you two broke up, he's still your little Harumi. That's not true. It isn't like that. Really? I hear he's been drinking every day and acting out. He seems like he's going through a really tough time. What? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Harumi acting out? Is he unable to handle life without being drunk now? Are we just imagining this? Look at a nice face in this. He's like, what did I do, man? The hell are you saying, you idiot? Okay, Harumi, let's stop there and get you home. You're stumbling. Shut up, you old geezers ought to be quiet. Hey now, you don't need to start taking swings at me. I was just let myself fall to the lowest pits of despair, just like everyone wanted. And then I'll become the Destruction King of the abyss. Abyss. I love how they wrote the slurring in there. Good job. You have to do something or Harumi will fall to the dark side.
I know, right? And the more responsible they are, the further they fall when they step off the edge. And some never manage to recover.
What do we do, Sana?
You worried about him?
Yes, but if I say anything more to him, he might think I'm meddling in his life again. I didn't think I could handle more rejection. Oh my god, and then my sound thing just switched again. It keeps switching on its own. Guys, it was working when I started recording. You heard the sound and it just decided to change and tell me, like, no sound. Okay, hold on. I'll be back again. What the shit? Okay. Oh my god. We're definitely switching to our capture card software. I think we're going to the Elgato because I can't do this anymore. Like, we had sound, and then somewhere in the middle of recording, it decided to go, nah, I'm going back to not capturing the sound. What the hell? All right, hold on. Okay. We're going to try this one more time. I reinstalled, like, my software. Like, just downloaded the exact same one I have and just re-freaking did it. Because, like, I don't understand. Like, right now, I can see the sound system should be my capture card. And then all of a sudden, you go and it'll go, default sound system. Why? How are you switching? I can't switch it right now. If I try to switch this, I can't switch it in the middle of recording. So why in the world is it in the middle of recording? It goes from using my game capture like using it coming through the Elgato system to now I'm going to switch to default. I've had problems with it doing this before, and like, but it's really annoying because all my settings should always be the same, and then I have to change things, do random things because it just decides to stop working, and it's like, oh my god. Anyway, now that I've wasted like almost 45 minutes worth of recording time just to get 20 minutes out of it, like, I don't have time for this to be doing this because I have to get as much done as possible in a very limited amount of time. So I don't have time for an hour-long recording to take me 3 hours to fucking do because I'm fighting with my capture card and my game recordings and everything. So we'll finish this part out and then I just fuck this shit. I'm out. We're using the Elgato one and hopefully it fucking works because I don't have time to overdub a thing if for some reason it doesn't record sound because it shows it's recording sound but then it doesn't. Like, I'm a god. I can't handle this. Anyway, so back to where we were.
Well, poking your nose into other people's problems can be annoying. And empty words of support can be a double-edged sword, yeah.
Ugh, you're right. And see, now there's music. You can hear it. I can hear it. It's blasting in my ear because I had it up loud. I had it up loud in case, like, the music stopped so that I can look and go. But, like, I was talking so I can't hear it. But, like, I, like, had kept it up louder than normal so that, like, if in moments where I'm talking and I pause and I hear no music, I know to look over and be like, oh yeah, because it stopped recording. You know what I mean? But, like, but it just stopped sound recording. I don't know. And some scenes there isn't music, but pretty sure they're, like, this, you just heard it kick in. The thing, it's been on, but I guess there just wasn't anything in that section. I don't know. Anyway.
Atta girl. And then let me give you some sagely advice. What's important when strategizing is information.
Information?
Yep. If you really want something, you need to figure out what's necessary to get whatever it is you're after. And the more informed you are, the greater your advantage.
What's necessary? What I wanted. Information. Strategy. I focused all my thoughts on considering what Sana said. Harumi started acting strange after the confrontation with his father. Before that, he might have withdrawn or put up a wall, but he never pushed people away. Mr. Makino, he clearly disliked anime, but I don't know what kind of a person he is beyond that. I'd had a few opportunities to speak to him, but I didn't know much about his personality. So what I need now is a better understanding of Mr. Makino. Professor Asagi may know something. I decided it was better to take action than sit around being worried. Thank you, Sana. I'm gonna do my best. I stood up to leave. As I hurried out, I heard Sana cheer me on from behind.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you.
Thanks. You. That smile of his makes him look like a puppet. Thank you. Of course, then we have that goopy eye puppet.
Such a handful.
Hmm?
Hello. Yeah, it worked on my end. How about you?
Said I. Oh. Lord Makino, what did you want to discuss?
Oh, this is difficult to say since I just joined, but I'm going to have to move on from the club.
What? Why? What's going on, Makino? We just finished Operation TAS and...
Please don't ask me to explain. You won't be satisfied with the answer.
That look on your face. The reason must be quite severe. Kuzuryu might be my favorite character without a sprite because the voice is just fucking absurd and so wrong. But like, it's just what we got stuck with by accident. I was like, it's a random stranger. I didn't know it was a random anime going fellow young adult. I don't know why he got this voice, but he did, and here we are.
It is.
I can see this decision doesn't come lightly. If that's the case, we can't stop you since we don't know your circumstances.
Sorry it turned out like this. Please excuse me.
Are you guys seriously okay with this?
Huh?
How can you just accept that without even asking what's wrong? Oh, that was a girl. Okay. Oh, right. Classmate. It was classmate, not... Everything else was club president. I was thinking it was club person A. Anyway.
She's right. We watched that show Harumi recommended and started thinking there was something to this whole anime thing.
I know, right? So it sucks you're ditching us now. Did you not really like it that much after all? Listen, okay. I hate these bitches because, like, I think you're only into anime now because you want to impress Harumi. I don't trust you. Girls who stalked him, basically. But she's bringing up a valid fucking point. And she's needling him in the appropriate way. What, you just didn't even like anime? You weren't even a real fan. How dare you? And then you're gonna make him mad and it's gonna be like, see? I knew it. I'm just saying, he needs a little needling, so. I'm glad you two have joined our ranks, but now's not the time.
Why not? It doesn't make any sense. Wasn't your girlfriend into it too? What does she think about you ditching it?
I broke up with her.
What?
That's all I have to say. Bye, everyone.
Oh, no, you don't. We're not done yet.
Harumi, is it true?
Huh?
Oh, yes.
No way! You really dropped all your hobbies and broke up with your girlfriend? So she was the one forcing you to do all the nerd stuff?
This is fan club member, not classmate.
Dodged a bullet there, Harumi. Those losers were weird and absolutely the worst. It's a good thing you're free of them.
Yeah, a clingy, nerdy girlfriend. That has to be awful no matter how cute she is. Spread your wings and enjoy your new freedom. Hey, I want to be someone's cute, clingy, nerdy girlfriend. And who said I was clingy? What the fuck? I'm more offended by that, because, like, being a nerd or a geek, hell yeah. I called myself weird once because I was dressed weird. And, like, I'd been talking to this guy at the time. And, like, you know, sent a picture. I'm like, I know. He's like, that's an interesting elf. I'm like, I know it's weird. He's like, I didn't say weird. And he got all offended because I said the word weird. And I'm like, weird is not an offensive term. I mean, at least not to me if someone's like, wow, you're weird. Uh-huh. Yeah. Definitely. Thanks. Bye. Like, it's like obvious. Like someone making fun of me for being a pudgy ass potato. Yeah, Captain Obvious. Thanks for that. You have eyes. Like, you're weird. Uh-huh. Pretty sure I blatantly advertise that by everything I say and do. Like, I mean, I'm not offended by weird, geek, nerd. They're, like, not offensive terms. So, like, it's just funny. Clingy, though. I don't know. I'm slightly offended by that. And I wasn't that clingy, was I? I don't think so.
You...
You don't know anything about her, so how could you say something like that? She's a wonderful person. I won't let you insult her. Take it back. Okay, I take it back. Come on, let's get out of here. Very confused. So the classmates weren't part of the fan club? Lord Makino, it seems this is a complicated matter. Shijima! Are they all involved? Are they all involved? Well then, I thought I'd need to act when the time came to make things fall into place. But it all worked out naturally.
Cool. And that saves us some time and effort. It's all up to those crazy kids now.
I love the fact that Hanai probably said something and then these two chuckle fucks got. I love these two though. I love it. I love our boys and all of their little bromance and the fact that my little man harem's trying to keep me happy with my current boyfriend. It's sweet of them. We have good boyfriends.
And oh man, that Kazuma's noble, offering to help get those two back together. If it were me, I'd just steal her away.
He must be worried about her. And that said, why didn't he do all of this by himself? Why do we have to help? Hey, listen, Riku! Don't be selfish! I just praised you and now you're like, why did I have to get involved? I mean, valid point. He's like, why in the world were we involved? Valid question. And it's nice to know that Kazuma's in there too.
Come on, Nishijima. The ways of a lady's heart are a complex matter. Or, well, a gentleman's heart in this case. Plus, it shows how honorable we are by helping Kazuma out. No wonder we're so popular.
I suppose. Well, I have to get going.
Boo! You're a killjoy, Nishijima.
No, I'm not. You're the one who wanted to rehearse.
I'm just teasing you. See you later.
Their little side romance. Thanks to Seina's advice, I headed to Professor Asagi's place. I needed to find out all I could about Harumi's father. I couldn't speculate as to why things had gotten so bad between them, since I was an outsider to it all. Only they could know how they truly felt, but still. There's one thing I do know. Harumi was misreading his father. He'd given up on them reaching an understanding. I wanted to at least clear the air between them. You misunderstood your father. I don't necessarily know that. I want to properly talk to him. By now it was December and everything was brightly decorated with lights. Christmas songs could be heard from all the stores lining the streets. It might have been because of the cold, but the couples walking by were snuggled together. It's all so pretty, but the music is getting louder and louder as I go, Jesus. Everything felt dulled since we'd broken up. Oh. The doorbell, get a turn. It was like I'd been left behind again and I was drowning in loneliness. I've been sighing like that more and more. I used to wonder what it would be like for us to spend Christmas together. Rumi doesn't like crowds, so I thought it'd be fun to stay in and decorate the tree at my place. I walked through the crowd with heavy feet. Is that Harumi? Amid the crowd, I spotted a familiar face coming toward me. I squinted, but couldn't quite tell. Well, wow, I can't. I'm like, couldn't quite tell? That's exact. I'm like, okay. I squinted, but couldn't quite tell for sure between the lights and the people. There's no way he'd be here. Miss Spacey. Except it really was Harumi who came jogging up to stop in front of me. I like the fact that he's wearing his normal outfit. He just has a giant scarf on. Not a winter jacket or anything, just a scarf. What? Why are you here? Harumi hated crowds. If he didn't have a good reason, he would never have endured coming out here. I just got a call from Mr. Asagi. He said you'd visited and just left. Professor Asagi did? Is he involved too? I like how they keep him away from us. They have a little bit with Ichiro in the very beginning, and then they're like, no, we keep him away. And if you were to go straight home, you'd probably be walking around here. It's like they got him involved too. Oh my god. Rumi looked like he was about to cry. Just like that time I was reminded of when Harumi had chased me all the way home, struggling to breathe. I'm sorry. I said horrible things to you last time. I wanted to apologize. You did? Wanted to apologize, but it was hard to face you. Still, I have to. So, I'm very sorry. Too, I'm sorry for meddling in your life. We both whipped our heads down to apologize. You have nothing to apologize for. Please raise your head. I thought we were gonna like have one of those meet cute moments where we smash our heads together, but like we've already met, so it's like a apologize cute, I guess. You know what I mean? And you too, Harumi. No, you have to do it first. Neither of us would raise our heads first. Oh my god, you look like idiots now. At the same time, then. We straightened, and Harumi began to apologize again, but I stopped him. I'm searching for my father, but if I did find him, I'd be scared of meeting him. What if he regarded me coldly? What if he said he didn't care to have a daughter? I don't think I'd be able to say any of the things I've always wanted to say. Guessing you felt similarly, that you can't face him just with your feelings. Right. And so it's not your fault. No, I then realized we were drawing glances from the passers-by and hesitated to go on. Harumi noticed it too. Let's go somewhere else. We briskly walked away. Although the street was full of people, I could hear our footsteps loud and clear. We tried a cafe first, but it was full, so we kept walking until we found a park. There weren't too many people around due to the late hour, which was a relief. I clutched the warm, unopened can of hot chocolate we'd bought at a vending machine. Ah, it's so warm. I'm glad there was a vending machine. Yeah. Harumi was quiet for a while, but I waited for him to speak his mind first. After a moment, he found his voice. I thought I'd tell him my feelings one day, but when I stand in front of him, I can never find the words. Yeah? So his practice or something like that. Can you listen to what I have to say? By him, do you mean your father? Yeah, no. I need to tell you something. I should have told you this earlier. Told someone like me all about your past, so I should do the same. Not your real dad. I'm listening. When I was 11, I used to attend a normal private school. But my father decided I needed to study abroad at a prep school in England. He had me enrolled into a UK public school. Thought for a hot second it was going to be like he's not my real dad. I'm still waiting for that. It might still not show up. Anyway, prep school, a boarding school in the UK for elementary age students that acts as a stepping stone toward public school and college. Public school, a private junior high school in the UK that provides college prep programs. The public school that Harumi attended was an all-boys boarding school. No wonder why I can't talk to girls. A public school? You mean one of those prestigious ones? Yes. I chose England because my mother's relatives would take me in. However, most of my time there was spent in a dorm. Father was very attentive to my education, so I could speak English pretty well. But because of who I am, a childhood spent surrounded by strangers was quite difficult. It was impossible for me to acclimate. I don't know how many times I called home crying to come back, but parents wouldn't permit it. In the end, there wasn't anything I could do but study, so my grades were excellent. It was around then I fell in love with anime. I remembered the various the various mech anime I'd watched back in Japan. The hero's words would always give me courage. It's how I endured over there. To think he became an anime lover because he was sent to study abroad by his anime-hating father. I mean, it's something right out of a game! Or an anime! Or an otome! Like, I'm just... I mean, it's actually kind of funny. It's cheesy as fuck, but it's funny because it's like the father was like, "You're going to a boarding school because I don't want to deal with you." And then he comes back, "I like anime. I won't stand it." Well, this is your fault because if you hadn't sent me away, I might not have fallen in love with anime. It was the only way I could cope with you being a terrible father. So, like, it's all his fault. Bravo, game. Pretty funny. My father chose a British public school because of the strict rules. We rarely got to even go outside. Probably didn't want to see my face. Certainly hasn't ever since I got back. Are you really his son? What if you're not? I don't have many memories of him from when I was a child. When work gets really busy, he rarely comes home. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to see your face. Because he found out that you're not his son. And he can't handle it. Oh my god! I feel like that drama should have come out earlier than now in the last hour here. I mean, you know. Still, I don't want to be hated. I don't want to be rejected. I'm always aware of my father's mood, so I'm scared, and that fear steals my words. Once I graduated, I started looking at colleges. He told me to return to Japan for that. I stayed a while longer under the pretense that I needed to prep for the transfer. In reality, I was afraid of seeing him. Harumi. And look at him smiling with such a sweet, endearing, beautiful little smile as he's telling us his tragic fucking daddy issue story. Like, oh. And then this is why we don't care if we ever find our dad, because our dad could be his dad. Not, but like our dad could be as bad as his, you know what I mean? Like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to find my dad. Better not knowing. Thinking he's just out there and he'd be happy to know me, but I'll never find him and I won't have to be rejected by it. Just saying. As a result, ended up in the same year as you. He ended his story with a small joke. After saying so much, he took a moment before continuing. This isn't how I wanted it to be. I wanted to do something about it. Whenever I face him, I always run away. But if you're with me, I can be strong. Rumi, I'll cheer you on. For you and your father. Spacey. Achoo! Are you okay? This place is quite nice, but it's also quite chilly. Let's go somewhere warmer. It was true, the wind was picking up. I think it'll be fine if we duck in there. Oh, we're gonna go play in the kid castle? Oh my god, are we gonna get a CG of us, like... Instead of going someplace warmer, we decide to snuggle up in here. But we get a cute CG. Look at his sweet little embarrassed face. You only see his little eyes and his embarrassed cheeks, but it's kind of adorable anyway. We sat side by side in a tunnel running underneath the slide. It was a little cramped, but being out of the wind felt much less cold. Feels like we've been stranded on a snowy mountain peak. In that case, we need to call for evac. You're right, but I think we'll be fine for now. Aren't you cold, Harumi? Oh, no, I'm not cold. It's just, this is problematic in a different sort of way. What I mean to say is... Oh, no. Am I causing... Oh, that's me. Oh, no. Am I causing problems again? No, I swear you're not. It's just... Harumi stiffened up so much, it's because we're sitting close and he wants to be close to us. Do you feel awkward since it's just us? Why wouldn't it be awkward? Her face changed like... Oh, so you do feel awkward. Of course. He was so direct, it left me stunned. Do you do this often? Do what? You know, alone with a guy or somebody in a small place like this? It's just... I don't know. What? Not even with Kamakubo? Kazuma? Not really. The smallest place we've shared is my room, I think. Found it odd he mentioned Kazuma like that. Okay, that's good to hear. So, your room... I mean, I've been there too, so I guess it doesn't count. Rumi's ears were turning red as he looked away and mumbled to himself. Now he's not blushing and we look awkward AF, I love it. If it bothers you so much, we can get out. No, it doesn't. Actually, I wanted to say something to you. I knew I had to say it properly, but I kept trying to find a way to say it right, and here we are now. Okay? Please don't let him be angry with me again. I love you can hear our heart beating. Harumi looked strained and different than usual. It was upsetting, but I understood why, given all that had happened. I want to stop being friends. Huh? That is not how you say you want to date someone! You... Okay, just PSA to anyone, when you want to become more than friends with someone, you don't just start with, I think we should stop being friends, because that's going to give that person a heart attack. Or they're going to be like, yeah, no, good, because I just wasn't feeling this friendship anymore. And then you're going to get crushed. I'm just saying, not the way to lead into it. Not good. Good for drama, but no! I yelled it out before I could stop myself. Tears welled up in my eyes, and the Harumi before me blurred. I roughly wiped my eyes with the back of my hand and looked up at him. Tell me why. If it's something you don't like about me, I'll fix it. I don't want to leave your side. Harumi looked surprised as I became embarrassingly upset. But it's got to be endearing because he's like, I want us to stop being friends. And we're like, no, why? I'll do anything. I just want to stay by your side. And he's like, I mean, that actually makes me feel good because I was going to say I want us to actually really date. He probably hadn't expected me to have such an intense reaction. I mean, someone comes up to you and is like, we should break up. What? You're not expecting it. Or we should stop being friends. Excuse me? Like, I was surprised, too. I never tried to keep someone with me so desperately. But I refused to give up. I didn't care how it came across. No, that's not it. I'm sorry. I bungled that completely. That's not what I meant. Huh? I like you. So instead of being friends. Oh no, he's super blushing. Oh, I want to be your boyfriend. What? I said I want to be your boyfriend. I was caught so off guard, I was speechless. I love this. It's so dorky. It's a perfect, sweet little nerd moment. I just want to cry. It's so beautiful. We need light, fluffy, goofy games like this every once in a while, and I'm here for it. It makes me mad when his dad was trying to throw out his shit, don't get me wrong, but then we get these moments and you're like, it's okay again. I'm fine. Does that mean you want to drop the act and be together for real? Yeah. If we're just friends, I wouldn't care who you're friendly with or get jealous about it. But I feel anxious when you're overly friendly with other guys. It makes me want to be the one you trust the most, the one who likes you the most. I love this. It's so cute. Like, we're just blinking at each other. Say something. Your silence is crushing me. I couldn't think of anything to say. I tried to organize my scrambled thoughts. I realized that in his own way, Harumi was same. Pardon? I feel the same way too. When you're close to other girls, it makes me antsy. I want you to trust me the most, and I want you to like me the most. I want you to stay the closest with me. I didn't think I'd articulated the last bit well. Harumi seemed to have lost his voice. It was my turn to wish he'd say something. His silence was crushing me. I can interpret this as requited feelings. Requited feelings. They weren't the most romantic words, but they were accurate to our situation. And you're both fucking nerds. And so this works. I nodded eagerly, repeatedly. Yeah. I like you, Harumi. As I feared. And this is truly troublesome. What? Did I say it wrong somehow? Should I redo the line? I mean, it's problematic a woman I like has confessed her feelings while pressed to me. I was suddenly aware that Harumi did indeed have a high body temperature. Then again, I was the same way. I'll try to put some space between us. I tried to scoot away, but Harumi grabbed my arm. In contrast to his hand, the hot chocolate was tepid. I could feel his heat through our clothes. Please don't. I'm tired of being separated from you. Well, that's super romantic and sexy. Not how he means it, but I'm just saying. You could turn that into tired of being separated from you. I'm just saying, you can make it sexy. Oh, then what should we do? Girl phrasing. Close your eyes. Oh my god, is he gonna kiss me? Why? Just trust me. Well, okay. Awkward, adorable kiss. Come on, I want to see the CG. Don't close your eyes. Is he? Oh, okay, we get the kiss. How adorable. Oh, look, he's wearing gloves. And a scarf. I slowly opened my eyes. Harumi was face to face with me. His lips were pressed to mine. Sweet. What? Tastes like hot chocolate. I stumbled out of the tunnel to put some distance between us. The chilly wind helped to cool the blood rushing to my head. I didn't mean to startle you. That's really the poor reaction of like a boy who just kissed you and then you run away. That does. Sorry, it's just taking me by surprise like that isn't good. I startle easily. My heart was racing. Then it's fine if it's not a surprise. Oh. Harumi took a step closer. Oh, well? When you react like that, it turns my joke into not just a joke anymore. You can't tell me about how awkward and alone you were abroad, then start saying things like that! I didn't mean to upset you. Oh, wait, I know! Are you drunk? What? Zena told me you were dragging Mr. Hanai around every day getting drunk and acting out. Why would he start such a rumor? And just because I was upset doesn't mean I'd do something insane like that. A rumor? What do you mean? Wait, do you think I'd really do all that? I wouldn't necessarily know. So why? People around us decided to give us an unwanted push. I guess so? I was completely and thoroughly tricked by Sena. I think they were worried about us. Oh, I guess it's better to have friends like that than no friends at all. You're right. I guess this means the two of us are no longer alone. Harumi nodded in agreement. It turned out we had many people in our lives to worry over our well-being. No caller. What could it be? The ringing was non-stop. I apologized to Harumi so I could take the call. Hello? Harumi! Where is Harumi? Oh, this voice. I'm assuming actually it's probably his dad. It was Mr. Makino on the line. Well, when he gets antsy, he sounds like his wife. Right? Whatever. I was thinking maybe at first the mother was calling, where's Harumi? And then like, oh no, and then it's probably the dad because the mother was just like, whatever. But I was surprised he had my number. He seemed relieved I picked up and apologized for the sudden call. He then asked if I knew Harumi's whereabouts in a desperate tone. He called Harumi's phone repeatedly, but he never answered and no one knew where he was. Mr. Makino reasoned that since I'd come over once, I might be close enough to him to know. Sagi gave me your number. I couldn't think of another way. You have my apologies. However, if you have any information... I'm with him right now, actually. We just met up a while ago. Is that so? Is he hurt? Sick? No, sir. Spacey, wait, are you talking to... Harumi realized who the caller was and grabbed the phone from my hand. Hey, wait! Hello, father. I suppose it was you who was making those baseless accusations against her. I could hear Mr. Makino reply, but not exactly what he said. Harumi ignored him and continued. She's done nothing wrong. I left of my own accord, so leave her alone. Actually, the timing's perfect. I'm meaning to talk to you. I'll be coming home now, so sit tight. Coming for you. I love the drama of that. I'm coming for you. Okay, Liam Neeson. Somebody just took your family. You're going on a tirade to track them down. Jesus. Harumi hung up on Mr. Makino mid-sentence and handed my phone back to me. A declaration of war. For real. I said it. He thrust a trembling fist pump. Oh, hold on. You've got it wrong. He was worried about you. Don't fall for it. There's no way he'd really be worried about me. I think he is in his own way. He just doesn't know how to deal with you. Know what I mean? No matter what I say, I can't shake how he envisions its father. I probably shouldn't tell him what I learned yet. My shit just fell off my couch. We went back to Harumi's house where we found his father sitting and waiting expectantly. My Sebastian plushie jumped off my couch. Harumi sat down across from his father, facing him, and I took the spot next to Harumi. I lied the other day. All the DVDs and merch in my room were mine. Harumi tried to calm his quivering voice with a deep breath and spoke slowly and clearly. We still have a whole other chapter, which I find interesting. Oh, wait! Is he gonna get amnesia too? Right? Because didn't we we're gonna start dating for real with Kazuma, and then he forgot everything? Did he forget everything before? Or it was right when we were gonna confess our feelings, then he got hit by a car or some shit? And then forgot everything, and we were like, oh. You know what I mean? I can't remember. But I'm just saying we got a whole freaking other chapter and we've confessed our feelings, so what's the twist with Harumi? He already pushed us away, so I'm very was the pushing away the Kazuma forgetting? Because now my amnesia. I can't remember what chapter Kazuma got amnesia in, you know what I mean? Anyway. He explained how the DVDs in his room were his, not mine. That he was afraid of being rejected, so he did as his father said, and we still have another pretend time. Anime was my only comfort when I was abroad. That and manga were my connection to home and taught me many valuable lessons. I made my first friends in England through anime. I used to be afraid to speak my mind, but anime's helped me grow. The reason I'm here and able to face you is because of anime. Harumi nodded. I respect the people who create it and send it out into the world. I know it's not what you wanted, but I want to be part of that process one day. I will become an anime director. I understand your aspirations. However, liking something and doing it as your job are two different things. Can't mix your dreams with reality. I'll give you some time to think this over. Really? So you're a director because you hate doing it? I'm just saying. I mean, okay, most of us work jobs and you're like, this is not my dream job that I do. Okay, well, this is fun. But, this is not going to ever pay my bills. So, my job that pays my bills is not my dream job. Was that what I want to do with my life? No. But it's what I'm doing with my life. That's my option. Okay, it's a little late. So you're telling me that Makino, the director, went into being a director because it was a viable career and not because he enjoyed it? Because I feel like when you go into any kind of a Hollywood industry, films, movies, TV, anything like that, you do that because you have a passion for it. You're good at it and it's something you enjoy doing. It's a lot of work, but it's a work you enjoy. That's what you should be doing with your life. Is something you enjoy doing. I did not do that. Okay? I don't hate my job. I like my team and I like where I work, but this is not woohoo, dream job! It's it is corporate America. So it is what it is. But there's a lot of people who will never get their dream jobs and have to just do the other jobs. But it's just really weird for a director. It's not Harumi's into anime and wants to be an anime director and his father is the CEO of some boring ass fucking financial firm. You know what I mean? Where he's oh, you need to have a real 9 to 5. He's a fucking film director, so I'm just saying this is a little weird stance for him to take. Anyway. I've made my decision. Harumi was steadfast. The two stared each other down. I wanted to know more about you, Mr. Makino, so I talked with Professor Isagi. He told me about a time a few years ago when he had a job offer to write for an anime. He wasn't sure if he should take that offer, since he didn't know much about anime, but you advised him to take the job. Huh? Lee? That's what Professor Isagi told me. Mr. Makino said anime is nothing to laugh at these days, that it's seen in a variety of places beyond theaters. It has more exposure. He said experiencing anime production would be valuable, and that he was envious since there was no place for him to enter. Is he mad that Harumi's into anime because he couldn't get into anime? That's kind of douchey. That's worse. I didn't think the capital D on the douchebag could get bigger, but it did. Instead of It's not even like, yeah, it's cool to like anime, but like, listen, anime's not a viable career. It's not like you're telling your son it's not a viable career because you couldn't do it or you couldn't get your foot in the door. You're just basically pissed off at anime and you don't even want your son to like anime or have dreams of entering the industry because you didn't get into the industry. Like, that's awful. I can understand, like, man, it was always my dream to get into Hollywood and be an actress, and I just failed at it, and then my kid gets in, and I'm like, well, that sucks for me. Like, yeah, I mean, I can understand feeling a little bit jealous and being like, what the hell? But, like, you shouldn't be like, no, you shouldn't do it. Like, it's one thing if you were going into an industry and it was horrible and awful and you had a terrible experience and you don't want your kid to experience that. But you are basically telling your child to not even like anime and it's stupid because you couldn't become an anime director, so you're going to crush every little thing about anime instead of just being like, it's a really hard industry to jump into if that's what you want. You know what I mean? Giving him the reality of it. You're crushing all his hopes and dreams and telling him he can't even watch anime. What the shit? Dude, you need therapy. I think we need to go as a group. Group therapy for everyone. Jesus. That can't be true. Harumi was clearly astonished while his father looked uncomfortable. But I just said I wanted to be an anime director and you refused me immediately. It's not because it's anime. He stated it plainly. And then why? Directors lead such hectic, irregular lives. You have a weak constitution. How could I let you work yourself to death? Okay, I mean, this at least is kind of like, you know, it's a hard industry and I'm worried about you, but you've gone about this in all the wrong ways. All the wrong ways, dude. Every way that is possible to go. You took the wrong motherfucking turn. You were like sitting here going, well, that's a nice field of daisies over there. That's a pit full of alligators. I'm gonna go to the pit full of alligators. Seems like the right choice. I don't, good lord. In that moment, Mr. Makino looked more like a father than a director. But Harumi still regarded him with suspicion. Again, I mean, I get it, and maybe, like, in his own way, he's just really bad at kind of broaching this. But again, every fucking turn you took the wrong path. It's not even like you were trying to, or anything we could go back to and go, oh, I see what he was trying to say there. That no! Every turn has been wrong! Wow! I mean, you're trying to give him, like, a heart now, but it's a little late. Like, still a capital D douche. What? So all of this is because you're worried about me? I'm not falling for that. You hated being in the same house as me, so you banished me to England. Banished? Hardly. Considering this day and age, I wanted you to have a broader world view growing up. And in such a scenario, you needed the proper environment. You're a smart boy. Had you stayed in Japanese schools, you wouldn't have prospered. That's why I sent you to England. I mean, and okay, I can understand if maybe this is his thought process, but you think you could ever explain that to your kid? You say that, but you've been cold to me ever since I came back. You say you worried for me, but you wouldn't even look at me. That's... There. Can't refute that. You don't have to keep up the act. I don't expect anything from you anymore. You used to be so small, but you grew up before I realized it. I didn't know what you liked or what to talk about. You were avoiding me, so I assumed this was your rebellious stage. And then why send me to school where I could barely ever come home? Because I'd miss you, obviously! Bird! Bad bird! I sent you abroad so you'd prosper. If you returned regularly, my resolve would waver and I'd want to keep you here. Like, this would be touching and adorable, but again, I still think this man took every fucking wrong turn at being a dad. Like, every single wrong fucking turn. And, like, sure, I want to be touched by this moment, but I'm still like, but I mean, like, I don't know, does it erase the capital D douchebag and get rid of all of his anime? If it was just, like, being cold to him and not that, then this might have, but that whole scenario just doesn't fit with what you're trying to do here, you know what I mean? Like, again, I do like this game, but I feel like there are certain times where they throw shit in and you're like, this doesn't exactly work here. What's happening? And it gets a little crazy town. And not in the way that, like, Cupid Parasite got Crazy Town where you were like, this is batshit off the wall, but whatevs, we're in for this roller coaster. This is throwing things in and you're like, like the amnesia subplot, Kazuma acting like a twat at the end, and you're like, but that's not really you. Makino, like, this would be fine. I could be like, okay, all right. I could kind of fit with this. You're just cold and aloof from your son because maybe you don't know how to, like, have a relationship with him and all this stuff. But the whole, like, I'm throwing out your anime because I wanted to get into it. Like, that doesn't make sense then, you know? So it's like there's these weird things that you're like, not vibing with all of this. I mean, touching moment, but it's kind of overshadowed by that douchebaggery, and I'm not quite ready to get over it. You know, I don't know. So it's weird. I still like the game. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of it doesn't make fucking sense. There's a lot of shit. I think they tried to put a lot in, and so some of it just you're like you just had like 3 different people write. Like they were like, I want you 3 people to write for Harumi's route, and they did, and then you just threw all the ideas together, and we're like, oh sure. And it's kind of like, if some parts don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, anyway. I denied myself at all costs. Instead, it seems I made you suffer for it. Sorry. What? You can't be serious. I know it doesn't seem legit. I denied myself my ability to love myself. Like, alright, whatever. I guess we're having a touching moment, but it just seems really odd. I don't want him to be a capital D douchebag, but, like, this is weird. The 2 had fallen silent, so I decided to weigh in. With my outsider's perspective, maybe I could see things the other 2 couldn't. We're definitely over time, but like whatever. I think Mr. Makino is far more sensitive person than you realize, Harumi. He may act cold, but deep down he really isn't. Okay, and I could go with that, but what's the whole throwing away all his anime shit? But first impression of you was that you were cold too, but that was because you didn't know how to connect with others, right? Was I really like that? Yeah, you're even clumsy in the same ways. It really shows that you 2 are father and son. Well, I guess we're not getting the not his real dad scenario. I wouldn't be surprised if they threw that in at this point. No one's ever told me that before. I always saw father talking to people as a director, so I thought he never got nervous. That may be how he acts at work, but don't you think it might be different for family? I know how it feels to fear rejection from the ones I care about. Don't you? I do. But I'm still having a hard time believing this. No, I just don't want to believe it. So in the end, I wasn't able to see the true side of my father either. Have you ever watched any of your father's films? I've seen several of them. I understood some of them better than others. One of them was a drama that my mother wrote the script for. Harumi looked at me in surprise. Ah, the drama film. I may have told you before, but I remember it well. Back then I wanted to make movies, but I kept missing my chance. I was listless, so I took that job. A romance written by a novice screenwriter. At the time I thought little of it. No, I thought poorly of the whole thing. But once I read the script, I was won over. I knew I wanted to make this story. The story she crafted was very beautiful. I only worked with her once, but I regarded her as an amazing screenwriter. He spoke about my mother with a nostalgic tone. I could feel my eyes welling up, with tears threatening to fall. It makes me very happy to hear her work remembered so fondly. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear it too. When I heard you too wanted to be a screenwriter, I thought that it must be in your blood. If you walk the same path, you may suffer unfair comparisons and critiques. My mother made one screenplay, and that was like 20 years ago. I think I'll be fine. Still, you chose the same path as your mother. Children tend to surpass their parents' imaginations. I look forward to your future. And see how warmly you just spoke to me? Do you think you could have ever spoken to your son that way? I'm just saying. Thank you. Father openly complimenting someone, and it's someone he's only worked with once? I hardly believe it. See, that's because he's never talked to you this way. Yeah, the last time we talked about Mom, it wasn't about her work itself. I'm very happy to receive such a compliment. He probably doesn't say it out loud much, but I think your father is a kind and thoughtful person. But I'm more familiar with the scary and imposing version. You just open up to him without fear of heavy criticism. Hiromi turned his gaze from me to his father, who sat straight and looked at him directly. If you really don't hate me, I'd like to talk with you more. I understand. I want to talk as well. Please, tell me more about yourself. As long as you'll listen. And if you intend to leave the house, please tell us beforehand. Your mother worries too. I mean, seriously, like, you were pissed at your dad, but like your mom? God. Too. Does that mean you do as well? All parents worry for their children. Well, not really, not all of them, but... Which is why we had this forced misunderstanding, you know what I mean? I see. I mean, to be fair, you were going to throw out all of his animation. Instead of just being, like, cold and aloof. I mean, that had to be the trigger to make him, like, fucking lose his shit and run away, but it's still, like, it still doesn't make any sense. We're just going to gloss over that, but okay. The two conversed with a nervous energy. I guess this meant they could finally talk as father and son. But it would still take some time. Still, they certainly feel more alike now. The prickly feeling when we first arrived was gone. While there was still some tension in the air, it felt like a more welcoming space. Good. I know we're doing like 10 minutes fucking over, but like, there was just so much to unpack there. Like, I do like the fact that it's a light, fluffy game, and yes, there are things that make no fucking sense. But I do like that even the things that make no sense, it kind of makes you think, and you're trying to like, and you're like, this doesn't make sense for the character, instead of just being like, yeah, okay. Because at least, like, especially like, with the father, okay, he's cold and aloof, so Harumi feels like he doesn't care about him, and then they have this little heart-to-heart moment. Okay, absolutely makes sense. The whole throwing out his anime and blah, 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 but then he told Asagi he should write for anime because he never got to direct an anime, and that would have been cool. What the fuck? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And they're never going to explain that. But if they didn't make the characters, at least in some of the things, they didn't write them well enough, then those little odd things that pop out wouldn't pop out as being so fucking wrong. Like Kazuma, all the stuff at the end, you're like, that doesn't fit with his personality, though. And like, you know what I mean? So the awkward things they're jamming in to keep the drama wouldn't stand out as being so awkward if you weren't like, the character is so good that when this shit happens, you're like, that's, what? That doesn't fit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's good and bad. I'm still having a grand time. It's just there's a lot of shit sometimes in these routes that you're like, this makes no fucking sense anymore. So, you know, and not in a fun, this is crazy, batshit, I can't believe we turned a car into a robot type of way. This is literally in the, this isn't, wait, what? What's the motivation here? Why would you do that? And then we're just never going to get the answer. Kind of like, we'll probably never find our dad. Whatever! That's not the point. But they're throwing a lot of drama in that, like, I mean, it keeps you on your toes. I don't know if we needed all the little drama pieces. Like, Kazuma didn't need to get frickin' amnesia. Whatever's gonna happen in Chapter 7 probably doesn't have to happen. I don't know, because we got a whole chapter left. So, like, what's going on? But anyway, our recording software actually worked for the last, like, 50 minutes. So that's surprising. So maybe we'll see if it'll work for the next part. I keep it like, one more chance, because I just don't want to switch. Change makes me anxious, okay? And I'm used to this dumb fuckery, so like if I have to switch to some other dumb fuckery, I'm not gonna be able to handle it. So anyway, I gotta go get the damn bird because he's being an asshole. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.